Everyone at Westwood High School knew Emma Carter, but not because she was popular. They knew her because she was quiet. Emma always sat in the back row. She rarely spoke in class, and most students barely noticed when she entered or left the room. If someone mentioned her name, people usually said the same thing. Oh, that quiet girl. But what nobody knew was this. Emma Carter had been quietly watching my life for years, and I didn't realize it until the day she disappeared. My name is Daniel Brooks, and during my senior year at Westwood High, my life looked perfect from the outside. I was on the basketball team, my grades were good, and I had plenty of friends. But inside, things were different. My parents argued almost every night. My father wanted me to become a lawyer. My mother wanted me to become a doctor. Both of them had already planned my future. The only problem was they never asked what I wanted. School was the only place where I could forget about all that pressure, at least for a while. Everything changed the day our English teacher announced a semester project. Today we will begin a partner assignment, he said. Immediately, the class started whispering, everyone trying to figure out who they would work with. Then he added something that made everyone groan. Partners have already been assigned. He started reading names. Ryan Walker with Sophie Lynn. My best friend Ryan grinned. Daniel Brooks, I looked up, with Emma Carter. For a moment, the entire classroom turned toward the back corner. Emma was sitting there quietly, her long dark hair partially covering her face. She looked surprised, almost nervous. Ryan leaned toward me and whispered with a laugh, "Man, good luck. I've never heard her say more than 3 words." After class ended, students rushed out of the room. I packed my bag slowly and walked toward Emma. "Hey, Emma?" She looked up carefully. "Yes?" Her voice was soft but clear. "I guess we're partners." She nodded. Then she reached into her backpack and pulled out a notebook. I already started planning the project. I blinked. Class had just ended 2 minutes ago. She opened the notebook and turned it toward me. Inside were pages of notes, research topics, ideas for presentation, themes from classic love stories and literature. It was incredibly organized. "You did all this already?" I asked. She hesitated slightly. "I've been thinking about it." Something about the way she said that felt strange. Then a folded paper slipped from the notebook and fell onto the floor. I picked it up. At first, I thought it was just another note for the project, but when I unfolded it, my heart skipped. At the top were the words, "Things Daniel Brooks likes." Underneath was a list. My favorite basketball team, my favorite band, my favorite snack from the school vending machine, even the book I mentioned liking during freshman year. At the bottom of the page was a date. 3 years ago. I looked up slowly. Emma was staring at the floor. "How do you know all this?" I asked. She answered quietly, "I notice things." Then she quickly packed her notebook and left the classroom. For the first time, I realized something strange. Emma Carter knew more about me than some of my closest friends. The next afternoon, we met in the school library to work on the project. At first, the conversation felt awkward. Emma spoke quietly and carefully, choosing her words slowly. But when we started discussing literature, something changed. She became confident, passionate. Her eyes lit up when she talked about stories. "Most people think love stories are about romance," she said, "but they're actually about timing." "Timing?" I asked. She nodded. "Two people can care about each other deeply, but if the timing is wrong, they might never end up together." Her words felt strangely personal. "Did something like that happen to you?" I asked. Emma quickly shook her head. "No," but her eyes looked away from mine. Over the next few weeks, we kept meeting after school in the library. Slowly, I started seeing a completely different side of Emma. She was intelligent, observant, surprisingly funny when she felt comfortable. She noticed things about people that nobody else seemed to see. One afternoon, she said something that caught me off guard. "You pretend to be confident," she said. I looked up from my notebook. "What do you mean?" "You laugh a lot with your friends, but sometimes your eyes look tired." I stared at her. "How did you notice that?" She simply shrugged. "I pay attention." Soon, other students started noticing that we were spending time together. High school rumors spread quickly. Ryan teased me constantly. "Bro, the quiet girl definitely likes you." Sophie laughed. "She's probably been in love with you for years." I always laughed it off, but Emma became quieter whenever those jokes came up. One afternoon in the library, she said softly, "People are talking about us. Does it bother you?" I asked. She looked out the window. "Not really." Then, after a pause, she added, "But it might bother you." I frowned. "Why would it?" Emma didn't answer. Instead, she changed the subject and went back to working on the project. But something about her expression looked sad. One night, after basketball practice, I walked home through the park near my house. The air was cold and quiet. That's when I saw someone sitting alone on a bench near the lake. It was Emma. She looked surprised when she saw me. "Daniel? What are you doing here?" I asked. She looked at the water. "I come here sometimes." "Why?" She hesitated before answering. "My mom used to bring me here." "Used to." "She passed away 3 years ago," Emma said softly. Suddenly, I remembered the date written on that paper list. 3 years ago. "I'm sorry," I said quietly. Emma smiled faintly. "It's okay." She stared at the lake for a long moment. "After she died, I started paying attention to people more." "Why?" "Because life can change very quickly." Then she looked at me. "And sometimes we don't realize how important someone is until they're gone." A few weeks later, something unexpected happened. Emma forgot her notebook in the library. I opened it to continue working on our project, but inside I found something I never expected. Letters. Dozens of them. Every letter was addressed to the same person, me. They weren't meant to be sent. They were just thoughts she had written over the years. One letter said, "Daniel helped a freshman pick up the books she dropped today. He probably didn't think it mattered, but it made someone's day." Another said, "Daniel looked sad today. I wish I knew how to help him." The earliest letter was dated 3 years ago. Emma had been quietly watching my life all this time, not in a strange way, but in the way someone observes the person they care about deeply. The next day, I confronted her. "Emma, why didn't you ever tell me?" She froze. "You read them?" "Yes." She looked embarrassed. "They weren't meant for you. But why write them?" She took a slow breath. "Because sometimes feelings are easier to say than write." I looked at her carefully. "You've liked me for years, haven't you?" She didn't answer, but silence was the answer. Finally, she said something that stayed in my mind forever. "People like you usually don't notice girls like me." Her words hurt because I knew there was truth in them. After that conversation, Emma slowly started avoiding me. She left class early. She stopped coming to the library. It felt like she was disappearing again. Then graduation day arrived. Students were excited, taking photos and celebrating, but Emma's seat was empty. Our teacher made an announcement. "Emma Carter transferred schools yesterday." My heart dropped. "Transferred?" Ryan walked over to me holding a small envelope. "Someone left this for you." Inside was a letter written in Emma's handwriting. It said, "Daniel, if you are reading this, it means I didn't have the courage to say goodbye in person. I never expected you to read those letters. Watching your life from a distance was enough for me. You inspired me to become a better person. You showed kindness to people without even realizing it. And that is why I finally decided to start living my own life instead of hiding behind someone else's. So, thank you. Maybe in another life, if the timing was different, we could have been something more. Emma. Years later, I still think about Emma Carter, not as the quiet girl nobody noticed, but as the girl who noticed everything, the girl who understood people better than anyone, and the girl who taught me the most important lesson about love. Sometimes, the person who cares about you the most is the one you never truly see, until it's too late.